Dark Magician, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. A power so immense, you must first sacrifice 2 other monsters. And it's gone. 3 cards, and multiple turns of setup instantly vanished. Not to mention, Frostosaurus exists. Tribute monsters are a great concept. Investing small units into a bigger one is the core of every extra deck mechanic. But in a world with Xyz monsters, tribute monsters have serious flaws. Not only do they require extra turns to set up, but it's too easy to remove them before they get any value. Furthermore, any hand with multiple tribute monsters becomes one with bricks you're never going to use. All these issues make tribute monsters fade away into the night, but that hasn't always been true. Let's start by showcasing tribute monsters that do things right. First up, Monarchs. While outclassed nowadays, these cards were once major contenders. The speed issue is solved by introducing cards that reliably serve as tribute fodder, ready to be sacrificed again and again. And when a Monarch hits the field, the impact is immediate. Even if the opponent uses Bottomless Trap Hole on your Caius, Caius has now removed their best monster and the trap card. Over a series of turns, you build a gradual lead until it snowballs into victory. More recently, we have Masterpiece, a card so powerful it remains banned to this day. Not only does it have a destruction effect analogous to the Monarchs, but it comes with a modal summoning method providing immunity to card effects. You invest several cards into the boss, and that investment pays dividends as protection from the opponent trying to ruin your portfolio. Masterpiece isn't the only tribute monster with multiple summon methods though. Beast King Barbaros is a 2 tribute monster with 3000 attack, just like the legendary Blue Eyes. But unlike the Brick Dragon, Barbaros is also a respectable 1900 attack, no tribute monster. If you find a way to negate the effect after the summon, you get all the attack points and no downside. Or, if the game is going well, and you have an extra body on field, Barbaros lets you tribute 3 monsters to combine the power of Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster. An incredibly hefty cost, with an incredibly powerful payoff. All on a monster that will never sit in your hand as unplayable chaff. Even if the card isn't viable in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, it is a shining example of a powerhouse boss monster. But there's actually one more thing holding tribute monsters back, and that is the combat system. When 2 monsters battle, the winning card emerges unscathed. Tributing a unit always carries the same cost, but in cross duel, when 2 creatures battle, both of them deal permanent damage to each other. If Vorse Raider is forced to fight 2 elemental hero Avion, it won't win. After the first fight, Vorse Raider is down to 900 attack, and loses to the second monster. Rather than let that happen, you can tribute off Vorse Raider for Summon Skull, cashing in on an otherwise already spent resource for something even more powerful. While Cross Duel did have issues, making viable tribute monsters wasn't one of them. Now, let's see how another game handles it. Evolution in Pokemon is somewhat analogous to Yu-Gi-Oh's tributes. Stage 1 Pokemon require a turn of waiting and setup, while Stage 2 Pokemon require 2. Much like the tribute monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh!, evolved Pokemon have had ups and downs in competitive play. Some formats feature overpowering basics that outdamage and outpace anything the evolved Pokemon do, while others feature near-mandatory evolved Pokemon if you want to win. When your evolved Pokemon are attacking, they capitalize on having more health and dealing more damage. But I think the best implementation of evolved Pokemon are often the ones that never plan to attack at all. Spending 3 turns, setting up a Pokemon only to have it promptly destroyed by battle, is a recipe for disaster, just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! However, Pokemon has the bench, a place of relative safety. You'll often find powerful effects placed on evolved support Pokemon, including Draw and Search. Investing the time and card space to setting up the Tribute allows far more consistency than if you didn't run it at all. Of course, counterplay does exist, with certain cards featuring the primary purpose of wiping away the advantage engine you've set up without sacrificing tempo. With all this in mind, let's move on to how I handle it in my game. In the previous video about normal monsters, I discussed how effectless units set the power curve of any game, and the first thing a 2-feet monster can do is cause the curve to bend. Our premium 3-drop has 1000 stamina, but if you invest a card as material, you get a 2-drop with 1100. But much like Cross Duel, the combat here has monsters weaken as they battle. That means beating off a weakened monster is a great use of resources, but we take it one step further. Much like Yu-Gi-Oh's Xyz summons, any units used as material for a tribute summon go under the card, and when a unit survives battle, one material is detached to fully heal the unit. 2 tribute monsters come with 2 material, allowing them to rampage on the battlefield without getting weaker. Tribute monsters played on curve represent huge tempo swings, taking out opposing units while remaining at full health to fend off the next turn's threats too. But there is counterplay. A unit must survive combat to heal, allowing high-powered units to break through and destroy a card in one hit later in the game. And depending on whose battle phase it is, a player can chip away at material with weak monsters, denying the value of the extra health. Moving outside the world of vanillas, I've taken measures to provide variety in the material system. Some units gain material without sacrificing board presence, while others use material as shields to gain continuous value out of their effects. A particularly interesting case is Reverse Sands, a 1 material monster that immediately sets itself upon summon. When a monster is face down, it discards all material, meaning Reverse Sands never benefits from the unit invested into the summon. Instead, this material is used as a balancing cost for a powerful effect, which can be reused when paired with other cards to place it back face down. Another of my favorites is the insect boss Regand. Taking a page from Pokemon supports units, the card can hide safely in the back row, while providing debilitating effects. However, it has a combat range of 1. If the player wants to attack, they need to carefully manage its position on the board. A well-timed tribute summon can seal the game, but we also need to address the speed, which I do in 2 ways. First, if a player falls too far behind, there is a comeback mechanic, allowing an additional summon at the start of the turn, providing material for a level 1 monster even from an empty board. Additionally, some cards exist with the purpose of being used as material. And finally, the usage of certain cards or skills can allow a player to bring out monsters without any material requirement, sacrificing the self-healing property, but maintaining their above-average power by cost. But skills are a topic for another week, so we are going to call it there. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and if you missed my previous video in the series covering normal monster design, you can check it out by clicking the video on the top left of the screen, or click the video below it to see where the YouTube algorithm takes you. See you next time.